We're live.
Yay, welcome, welcome, ladies. If you're coming on live or on the replay, it is your master coaches, Danielle Morell and Tanya Watkins here. So we are really excited to be sharing with you ladies today. We're coming on live. We wanted to do this live stream because we know as a lot of you women are, considering the Setup for Success online business consultants program. And just in general, this is a great topic to have because we know that a lot of women who are considering the Setup for Success online business consultants program or just being in this group trying to build a business and create a profitable business will more than likely have the conversations with the spouse if you are in a relationship or married to help you make a decision or to get support to allowing you to invest and grow your business. And this is a really important topic that Tanya and I want to talk about because we've been in business now for over 5 years, working full-time in our businesses. And we've worked with dozens, if not hundreds of women, helping them create their business. And we find this to be a common obstacle that a lot of women face when they're trying to get the support that they need to be able to grow and invest into their business. Right, Tanya?
Absolutely. It's definitely a topic of discussion because you want to continue to support your family, your household. And sometimes we find that spouses are a little skeptical when it comes to business building. I know initially with my husband years ago, it was, his idea was that we were both killing the game corporately. That was his goal. And so I had to show him through time and through the results of my business why that's not ideal for our marriage.
Right. So again, we're going to just have like a conversation and just kind of unpack this with you ladies. And we're definitely going to talk about some of the things that can help empower you to, get support of a spouse when it comes to building and creating and launching your business. So we've had a lot of experience with this. Not only is Tanya and I both married, so we understand from a married perspective, being in a committed relationship, having to, include all parties and financial decisions and not being able to again just do whatever we want on a whim, right? We have to take those other people involved. So this, again, we know that there's women in this group who are already in a committed relationship, marriage, where this is already a scenario for them. And then we know that there's some women in here who, again, this is good to know if you do want to get in a relationship, and just good to know when it comes to women, business, and how to navigate that with a spouse. So again, we're just going to kind of unpack some of the things that we, have seen, and to just empowering you, give you, feedback on how to kind of navigate this in a way where, you're able to move forward and see the success that you desire. Right, Tanya?
Yes. And before we start unpacking and diving deep, I just want to remind you guys that you have about 30 minutes-ish to save $300 on your enrollment. So the link is actually here posted on the caption. So you just click the link, and the coupon code is SAVE. So when you go to enroll, just put coupon code SAVE, and that's for your paid in full option.
Yes. So I'm going to kind of just start this off, and then Tanya is, will be kind of jumping in and sharing from here. But basically, one of the things that I see common where women are not able to get their spouse's support. So this is really important, ladies, that especially when you're in a relationship and that other person does have weight on your decision, right? So, I mean, everybody's relationship is different. Obviously we're married, so ours is a little bit higher of, what was the right word? Higher responsibility, I guess, to get decisions and having them to get on board. And what we've kind of seen here, and this is something that we've seen a lot of women do, so it's very important that when you're in a relationship, you really don't have a lot of opportunities to get it wrong, unfortunately, right? Because when you have another person involved and you're growing and you're deciding with businesses, and when we're talking about men specifically, and we will be talking about men a lot in this group, just about one, how we work differently than men, and two, again, how business is kind of handled differently between women and men, and they really truly are. Women are much more emotional when it comes to making decisions. We're more emotional buyers. We really do have to connect emotionally with an offer or to buy something to, and marketers know that. They appeal to women's emotions, knowing that that is normally what triggers us to make a buying decision, whether it be pain, whether it be pleasure, or an emotional connection and draw. With men, they're much more logical creatures, okay? Men are more logical creatures. They like to see black and white on a piece of paper. They want to feel like it makes sense logically, versus just a lot of times women, we come with a lot of hopes and dreams and a lot of, what can be. And we run a lot on that, hypotheticals and just the dream, where men, they don't really get behind things unless they know that it financially makes sense or that it makes sense in general. So you have to appeal to men's logic if you really want to be successful in getting them to support you. And a lot of times what happens is women come to men and their spouse is very excited, very, the sky's the limit, very overzealous, and not really, not in the nitty gritty of the numbers and how is this going to work and what type of effort it takes. So when men hear that, they kind of, their first reaction is to protect us. And when we hear provider and protector, the protecting necessarily doesn't mean they're out here fighting lions and tigers and bears for us. Protecting means is that they're going to protect us from doing harm, whether that's financial harm, emotional harm, or things that are going to throw off the ecosystem of the family. They're very conscious. And many men do suffer from money block issues. A lot of times we think that that's just a woman thing, that only women carry limiting beliefs around money and what's possible. But quite honestly, men carry those same money blocks and limiting beliefs on what's possible, how quickly, so when you go to a man and you say, I can, if I work with this woman and I invest, a couple $1,000s in 4 weeks, I'll make $10,000. To them, that just sounds very, not tangible at this moment, just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I think we should kind of talk about what we had to do in the beginning. So maybe we take turns, like how we kind of transition into entrepreneurship and what things that we say and do with our families, our husbands, how we lived our lifestyle, how we, rise up as women, moms, and, just how do we do life in the beginning to get him on board? Like, what were some of the things that you did? And I can share a few things as well.
Well, I mean, and I definitely wanted to kind of give this, and I'm going to invite some people to this live here in a second. I definitely want to set the stage, and I'll go back and share, like, how did I get my husband on board? And a lot of these mistakes, like, that I'm sharing with you, I was, a victim of, like, not a victim, but I did these things such as when I got to this business, I had already tried many different things up until this point. So, it was harder for my husband to get around the idea that I wanted to quit my job and pursue this full time, because he had seen a track record of failed businesses. And so that's really what I was trying to get to. And then, of course, I'll just share the story. But, it's very important that, and you are going to make mistakes. Like, you're not going to probably get your first business right. So we're not saying the first business has to pop off, but we do say that you have to be very careful and strategic with picking what businesses you're doing and how long you're sticking with them and how much you're off onto the next thing, because it really makes it seem like, from a man's perspective, you're really flighty. So that's just kind of like my backstory on just that in general. And that was one of my cases, before I had figured out online branding and marketing to start a business, before that, I had another business where I was trying to do marketing, digital marketing agency for companies. I was doing web design on my own. I had started a refurbishing business where I was trying to buy furniture from the thrift store and refurbish it and sell it. And that was, something. So it was like, but I had my husband invest $5,000 in the e-commerce product so I could start a office supply business. So during our courtship and dating, I probably did, more like 4 to 5 different attempts at different businesses. And every time I got to one where it got too hard, or the work was, more than I thought, or the money wasn't coming in, I was like, okay, I got to try the next thing. Now, I'm not really mad at myself, because all of that pivoting did eventually lead to the thing that I'm at. But I can tell you that pivoting pivoting so many times made it where I had to figure it out all on my own, and that getting support became even more difficult. And so for me specifically, this was a time in my relationship when I wasn't as respectful as I am now, which, we can unpack that too, meaning that there are phases in a woman's life where, a phase where you're like, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do because I got to get it done. And that was type of my mentality now. Now, obviously, I'm a lot more strategic about how I go about things. So in that case, I just kind of had a cold turkey moment where I was like, I'm just going to do this anyways. Now, luckily, my marriage survived. So obviously, this isn't something that I would be advocating women to do, but this is why I want to talk about it because, right, I want to help women avoid some of these things that actually put them in a situation where their husband doesn't want to support them. And when women get resentful, like, oh, my husband's throwing up roadblocks, right? He's saying no. But in reality, you know what I mean? Like, you have already done so many things and changed it up so many times that he's just not confident that you're going to stick with one thing. He can't get excited because every time he's gotten excited about something, it was short-lived. So I'm going to invite some people to this, Tanya, while you, if I can, I don't know if I can. Yeah. So yeah, you share.
Yeah. So for me, I had to come to the realization that it wasn't that my husband didn't want me to run a business. It was that he didn't want me to falter on the initial commitment that I made to him, right? Like that was what it was. And if being a business owner meant that I was less of a wife, less of a mom, then that was going to be a problem. Also, he was concerned about financial, how can we do life the way we've been doing it if you're going to start something new or continue to build this or whatever. And so it became a matter of me, in my mind, clarifying what does good look like in his eyes, right? Mm-hmm. What does it mean to be a good wife? What does it mean to, make sure that my daughter's taken care of? And it meant that, it was no longer acceptable that I said, oh, sorry, it's 8:00 at night and you're coming home from a long day of work. Dinner's not ready. The house is a mess. My bad. I was working. That no longer was acceptable. I had to make sure that I could contain my work in a way that, and this is why this business model is so beautiful, because I learned how to still do all the things and still run my business. And so, making sure that the house was clean, simple things like that my daughter was taken care of and that she was able to get to her, activities without me, running late and saying, oh, do you have to go to basketball? Because I have this thing going on, right? Like still stepping into all of those things with excellence and then also running the business. Additionally, he also felt, and this is what I learned, not from him telling me, but just from observation, that when I would come to him with, oh my God, this didn't work, that didn't work, this customer didn't sign up, all of those things, he didn't come to me saying, oh my God, how can we make it better? It was more like, okay, so why don't you just do something else then? Mm-hmm. Because I kept coming to him with the struggle and not coming to him with the wins. So if you're doing that, maybe you're saying, he's my partner, I can lean on him. That's all well and good, and you can. I can lean on mine as well. But if I never bring him what happens that works well, right? If I never bring him the good news, and I'm always bringing him the bad news, why would I expect that he would continue to support this venture? Right? Because he's thinking, okay, so you mean to tell me dinner wasn't ready and the house is a mess and you still didn't hit your goal for the month. So what are we going to do then? Right? And so I realized I have to make sure that I'm doing all of these things well and balancing what I share with him, because it makes no sense for me to say, okay, this isn't working out. This is horrible. But yes, please still continue to support me.
Right. So, yeah, again, when we wanted to do this live stream, because we know that, again, when it comes to women investing in their business and growing their business, it's usually a team support thing. Again, you have to be very strategic and intentional, about everything that you're bringing to them. And, and another thing that Tanya and I Again, so the first thing you've got to keep in mind is like how many different businesses have you tried in that span, and just being mindful that every time you bring up a new idea and then start to work on it and then you change or you give up, each one of these he's keeping a mental note of this and he's losing confidence every time. So though it's okay to kind of figure out, this is why we're so adamant about having this community and having a vehicle such as the Set Up for Success online business program, because we already have been through enough businesses between ourselves and the people we've worked with to know that this is a common challenge, is that women run through businesses, run through money, run through their husband's confidence and support, and he now just doesn't feel confident that this is a wise use of time, that she just needs to get a steady check, and that, you know, she needs to give up this. Because what happens too, and this is another thing that happens, and I'm glad I'm getting to this point because it's important, when women pick businesses that are not really in alignment to hit their income goals with ease and with the time that they have, what also starts to happen is that she comes home from work or whatever she's doing, and then she starts to neglect the wifely duties, like Tanya was mentioning, of cooking, cleaning, you know, if you have children, kind of helping with that. And it becomes all about the business till the wee hours, and you never really have time to do those other things well. You know, the intimacy in your relationship is lacking because I got to be up, I got to grind, I only have so many hours to do this. And then over time, we find that the relationship starts to deteriorate between you and your spouse, and the tension rises, and the support you needed, you're no longer being able to get, because, you know, men really do require a lot of the intimacy that they signed up for when they got in a relationship and got married. And although they want to see us win, they do want us to see us doing something that lights us up. They are very sensitive when we overtake our time for family. And the other thing that they said, I thought this is what you wanted, you know, but you're not even really here. And so it's a complicated situation when you're spending all of your outside time trying to build a business, and then it's self-sabotaging your relationship at the same time. And then because you're spending long periods of time trying to build your business at night and on the weekends, and it's going a long time, again, his confidence decreases in you, and the more frustration and the more you become on a time limit to make something happen, or you need to get back to the family. So this is a common thing, again, we see all the time. It's one of the challenges that keeps women from ever really taking off, because they have somebody in their corner that's just not going to sign off on them spending the money, or is not going to sign off on them doing this, or going to come up with every excuse or diversion to get you to think about, well, wait, we should wait 6 months, or let me see what you can do first, or all of these things that actually just make the situation worse. Because if you knew what you were doing, you would be doing it, and you're not knowing what you're doing, and he's now making you wait another 6 months to see what you can do, and you can't. And now 6 months is going to come, nothing came out of it, and now he's looking at you like, well, I don't want to invest because you had 6 months and you couldn't even make anything out. It's because you don't know what you're doing. So we created this Set Up for Success online business consultants program for this reason, so that you have a business that's already been proven, where you already have everything laid out for you, that's your own business. So you don't have to spend a lot of time spinning your wheel or getting into a business that is ultimately going to keep you stuck and struggling, and then just going to be another failure on your notch belt that you can't afford to take, because every failure at this point counts, because it's racking up and it's, you know, right? So that's another part of this that, you know, I think is really important, why it's important, right? Because that other part, like Tanya said, coming home and being really, you know, picking a business that requires too much out of you, too much energy, too much sales, too much marketing, too much investment, and you just don't have it.
Yeah, and I think just because we're human beings, we're ego driven, right? And so the longer it takes for us to get to success in business building, the more our ego is hurt by that, right? And so then it becomes an uphill battle of, I can do this, but then you're still in the back of your mind thinking of the failure that you had in the past. And then coupled with that, having to be on all the time, and, you know, Danielle and I talk about this all the time, you know, previously in our business, having to, even sometimes now when our husbands are like, all right, you know, let's go to Japan, let's travel, let's run the world, you know, like, you have to make sure that the balance is there, so that your husbands aren't coming to you like, oh my God, what's going on? Because imagine being able to having to run this business by yourself, right? Or with a small team, and then having your husband come in and knock down all of your, all of your esteem, right? That isn't helpful. And just in business building in general, it's all about energy, right? It's all about mindset. It's all about being tuned into what's going to get you the best results, and having someone nagging you on the back end isn't helpful, right? And so that's why building business in this way allows for you to scale faster without having to hear so much of the, well, when is it going to pop off?
Right.
Right. And I found even with the other business that I was running, it would take, and we calculated this, he and I, we sat down, literally, no word of a lie. We sat down and we realized in order for us to make enough to cover, certain bills and also to replace my salary, I needed, at the time, I think it was like 25 new customers and 5 new team members. It was a network marketing company. And so that was 30 new people a month, bare minimum. That wasn't for us to be able to travel the world. It was for me to bring in, half of what we needed to get to. So if I really wanted to, take over the bills and be able for us to travel and live the life that we desired, it was really looking more like 50 people a month. 50 people.
Right.
And so while it sounds like, oh, okay, but they're only going to spend, $100, $200 to, make a transaction with you, that's easy, but it's not. Getting someone to enroll, I always say I've had much better success enrolling people into $5,000, $10,000 programs than I ever did when I was selling programs and services and all the things at $100, $97, $127. I've always found better success, and people are definitely more bought in and tuned in and see the value at that level as well.
Right. So, yeah, and that goes back to one of the pillar things that we're always talking about in this group is that you've got to be careful what type of business model you pick. And again, one of the reasons why we see a lot of women get in a situation where they're unable to get a spouse to support them on investing in their business is because they have businesses that require, again, quantity of clients or sales per month. And look at, and they don't even have the resources to convert those type of numbers. So it keeps them in a situation where it takes years to be even seeing just a little bit of profit, let alone replacing a job. And like, again, men are protective and they don't want to see their wives waste energy that could be directed spending time with them or the kids. If you're going to spend time doing something, you get no fruits out of either one. You might as well, spend time with the kids where you do get something out of it. You know what I mean? Versus nothing. So that's kind of like their running line is like you are on a short time limit with them, unless, again, you've seen some wins. Now, if you've seen some wins in your business, like Tanya and I have, your spouse will be way more supportive on continuing allowing you to invest money of your own money, because he's like, okay, I know that she has a track record of making it work. And too often we see women with very poor track records of being able to make good business decisions and make good discernments on what business to invest in and who to spend money with and what support to get and all the little nitty gritties. We see too many women not making the best decisions. And like, again, men are very logical. So when they see those continuous of non-fruitful decisions, again, they want to protect you and they want to pull you. They want to not pull you back, but they just want to protect you from getting in another situation that's going to get your feelings hurt. More than just the money, a lot of men don't want to see you be disappointed again or, feeling like a failure, because you act like that after it happens. After the business goes, you're in a, oh God, what am I going to do? I'm damsel in distress. I'm $1 late, a day short. I know I've been the damsel in distress before. And I know nothing weighs down more on a man that's like, okay, what do you have to do to get happy and get this, maybe you need to take a break from this, so they want to protect your energy.
Yeah, that's their only solution. They can't think of anything else because they don't know how to help you build, right? Because they're not in business. So it's like, all right, well, you're suffering, you're not happy, then just quit. Because that's the only solution that they can think of.
Right. And they rather give that solution than to tell you, hey, I'll spend a couple $1,000s on a coach. Why? Because that men need to be proven on some level that they can feel confident. So whether that be, there's a lot of factors. So a lot of times we see women upset at their husbands or held back, but we see that they themselves have had done a bunch of things that have led up to this that would make a spouse be very concerned to spend thousands of dollars in investments in their business. So we're doing this live stream because we know that there's women in here who will come across this obstacle or challenge when they're trying to enroll into the Setup for Success online business consultant program. Although I have to say this, like, this program is literally a fraction of what it should be able to cost. We have coached so many women who had $10,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $100,000 years, $500,000 years. So this program is not that expensive compared to what it would cost for you to go get another certification or degree real quick. I'm going to go back to school and get this. It's still going to be more expensive, and you're still going to come out with a job that's paying you under 6 figures, still working 40 hours a week. So this investment's not a high investment. And again, you can definitely get your spouse to support you on it when you're able. Again, that's why we created all these videos, the micro videos and the units, where how can you make money, how quickly, who are we, so you can just go to those individual videos and let us explain it to men, because that's another thing that we see that holds women back when it's time to get their support to support them, is that they don't know how to articulate clearly what is going to be possible for them if they were to get this support. So usually it goes something like this. The woman has a call with the coach. She loves it. The coach told her exactly how she can see success in her business in no time. She shares with her investment $4,000, just let's say. And then was like, oh my God, I totally want to do it. I just need to get my husband's support on this. And then what happens is that afternoon, he gets home from work. He didn't even get in the door all the way. Okay. He just opened the door. He just put his suitcase. He didn't take off his shoes yet. And you're like, oh my God, I just met this woman. Oh my God, I have such great news. I've met this woman on the line. She said she's going to be able to help me. This is exactly what I need. Oh, I want to do it. She said it's just $4,000. That's it. Now, right there, I know, because I've done this before. So a girl's talking from personal experience, okay? And I've seen it enough to know. Yes. You not even let him get his supper. He ain't even fed yet. You're so excited you didn't even cook dinner. We eating out tonight. I got somebody who's gonna help us. Help me. I can't even cook. I can't even focus. You know what I mean? And so that's what happens. And so I tell a lot of women all the time too, if you need to get a spouse support, are you open for us to have a conversation, a 3-way conversation? I never share the investment with him. I let you do that, but let's share that, because what ends up, so I suggest, if that's you and you really want to work on a program, even if it's this program, but you already know, yes, I'm going to go back and he's not going to understand what he's not going to get it, because it's a lot, you know what I mean? I get it, because I you know what I mean? I've been in the community. We wanted you to, have those videos so that we could explain it to them, because that's enough. Because once you run to them and say, hey, I want to do this, and you don't really take your time, take the, got to get logical. So even though your emotions are on 10, you got to drop it back down to get logical. Like, I'm bringing you straight facts. This is the profit plan. This is how I can make money. I only need 2 clients to make my return back. That's far better than doing 100 clients at $100. You got to break it down the math for him so he can understand those numbers. Like, yeah, that does. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, right? Break it down. So, and then if you're like, hey, she wanted to know if there was a time we can set up a call so she can share what's possible for me. Okay, yeah, I'd be open to that. And, you didn't rush in there and tell him the price, and now he's making a decision based on price and not based on value. And this is why, we always like to make sure that people, whether it's the spouse or you, know the value before we just show out the price, because it's in people's natural interest just to go, oh, it's this amount, I can't do this. You don't know what is valued for you at. So that's another way to get your spouse to support your decisions. If you feel like it's an investment, it's an investment, it's going to be something he needs to really be clear on before he hears the price, so he's not just immediately shutting it down. Because if you run in there and you say it's $4,000 or whatever the price, and this price is $2,000, And he immediately triggers like, oh my gosh, you know, whoa, and says, no, it's very hard to come back from that. It's very hard to come back from a shutdown. No, it's hard to do anything. Like you almost can't even do anything at that point, because if you do, now you blatantly went behind his back. That's why I used to be a proponent of just do it and tell him, ask for forgiveness is better than permission. Because if he says no, you really can't do it. You know what I mean? If I ask for forgiveness, he's going to be a little mad at me, but he's not going to divorce me. Now, I would not tell that's not a strategy here, because I'm not responsible. I don't know how y'all's people handle stuff. I get a little, sometimes my leash gets a little longer. Sometimes got to reel it back in. But that's the gist of it. So that's another solution or strategy we wanted to share with you. So first strategy is be very careful with how many businesses you start and stop. If you're already on business number 2, going on business number 3, and you still haven't cracked the code, you need to join Set Up for Success Online Business Consultants. This will be the last program you will need to spend money on to get you in a direction of a profitable business. But you got to stop jumping from idea, business, let me do this, now I want to do that, oh, I changed my mind. All that inconsistency puts doubt that he can trust that you're going to do and pick something and stick with it. So that's going to be a no right there. The second thing is, when you hear an offer and it's a great offer, but you know you need to have his buy-in, you know, see if you can set up a call with all 3 of you and the coach, and all, you know, and if it's us, so that we can have a conversation. He can ask questions. He can feel involved. He doesn't feel like some women are conspiring behind his back to steal his money. You know, he feels like, oh, I can be in on this decision. Bring him in on the conversation before it gets to just you two and it's a price, because you probably are not going to articulate it in the way that's going to sell him. Because listen, ladies, this is a download I just had. And I didn't just have this, but I just had it again to just make this. Somebody write this down in the comments when I say this. I need some hearts, because I'm about to drop something now. Watch me forget it, and I'm not. And I think I just literally forgot it on all that hype. Hold on. Oh my goodness. It was basically, I was gonna say, oh God, it's so good. It's coming back. But
I'm ready though. When it comes back, I'm ready.
I'm like, it was a bomb right here, and then the bomb was like, since you took so long, you know, lost it. But yeah, does that make sense? Let us know in the comments. Does that make sense about getting your, you know, making sure you're not over here jumping all over the place, you know, getting his, oh, I got it. It's back. Here, get ready. The first person that you're going to have to get good at selling is your husband, is your spouse. You are never going to be able to sell strangers out here on this street if you can't get your husband to buy in. This is the first big test. Matter of fact, this investment, making the investment able to at least sell your husband. If you can't sell your husband, we're going to have this is why you need to have us on the call so we can sell him for you, because, and it's not selling, it's sharing. You know what I mean? But if you can't even share in a way that's going to get buy-in, this is already your first test that you need help with sales. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you can't even sell your partner, and he knows you. He knows your track record. He knows you ain't a con artist, but you can't even sell him on the fact that you trying to do something. So again, making this investment, and even in this program, the reason why we don't have this program, first of all, for like $500 is because, first of all, we've had too many success people of people taking our information and teaching it like we're giving you the permit. We're now giving you the permission to do that. But we've had too many women take our information that we've taught them and on themselves make 6 figures and then go and teach somebody else and they made $500,000. So we can't give out this. It's that powerful. It's that monetizable that anything cheaper is a disservice, because we're making people out here making $500,000 out here, and that not that we directly teach, that our clients have taught. So that's how powerful our information is. But another reason why we don't have this program at $500, and reason why we have to have it at a minimum of $2,000 at the minimum, is because we need you to be in alignment to ask others to do the same. If you've never spent thousands of dollars on your coaching or your investment, or you've never even bought a high ticket program. This isn't even high ticket, to be honest. High ticket don't start till $5,000. We ain't really getting into the nitty gritty till we get to $10,000. So this is like a low entry level point, but it is a test. The price is a test. It's a test to see if you are going to be the person who's going to make the leap, get to the other side, because when you do, it will make it so much easier for you to ask others to spend $1,000, $2,000 with you. In my own situation, I did not start seeing returns greatly and as expeditiously as I did. There goes that big word.
Okay, T.I.
Sound like yeah, not a fan, but yeah. When the moment I made my first $2,000 investment, I actually paid $1,000 for 1 hour. So we're giving you 6.5. Oh, wait, what? 6 sessions of 90 minutes. So it's well over 8 hours for $2,000. But the moment I invested $1,000 for 1 hour, I was immediately turned around and got a $1,500 client because I became that person. It was easy for me now to ask others to spend $1,500 because I did it. Before, when I did it, I'd ask somebody for $1,500 and they're like, oh, I can't do it. I was like, girl, neither can I. Back when you can. You know what I mean? I never sold anything because I was falling into all their money drama, things because I had it. So I say all that to say, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't an investment. This isn't a high investment. This should be a really easy sell to a husband. Like, credit cards. We've had people use multiple credit cards. We've had people borrow money. I've borrowed money from my sister to run money in ads when I first got started. People who want it will figure it out. Those who just want to spend, the next year flapping around in the wind will. You know what I mean? It's just,
absolutely.
And it will cost you either way. That's the funny thing. Whether you spend $2,000 or not to join this program, you're still going to lose $2,000 because every month you don't know this is a month you didn't make $2,000. So over the year, you have a potential at the minimum to lose $25,000 on the side for a $2,000 investment for a 4 payments of $500. So we just say this because we know as women who've been investing many times over the years, we know what some of the things that come up for women when it comes, but we know that there's really no other way around it. Yes, has some people become successful with no investing? Absolutely. But they, those are few and far between and not enough to justify all the casualties of folks out here who aren't figuring it out on their own and now are still at a job that they hate and living a life they can't stand. So
absolutely. And I feel like in the marketplace, there's a lot, like, let's be real. There's a lot of things that you can invest in for $2,000, right? There's a lot of opportunities out there, but this here to be such a proven system and for us to both, like I was just telling Danielle last week, my client's client just came back from Bali, my client's client, and she's already selling 5-figure programs, my client's client, right? So 1, it's proven. 2, you're walking away with everything you would need to start. So it's not like we're giving you strategy and like, okay, now go figure it out on your own. It's the strategy in every single tool and resource you would need to start selling and servicing your clients immediately. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And Danielle and I talked about the price, but we went back and forth and I was like, this probably should be more like 3, 4, 5,000. So you better thank Danielle right now. That is 1997 because this is all her.
And the reason why I kept it down at this, we talked about it. Yeah, it is more of a 5 because again, we know the results and we know what's happened to us. We know the type of life we're living and what that's valued to others. And so, yeah, it really should. But we wanted to make it accessible. We didn't want any excuses, but we couldn't have it cheap enough where that you're no longer in alignment to ask for it in return. You got to be in alignment. So again, a lot of times women see other women doing really well online. They're like, well, how come she's doing really well, but I'm doing everything kind of sort of like her? But if you didn't spend any money, you've missed the biggest piece because her mindset on what she's going to be able to attract is different because she's of the mindset that I am who I want. And because I am who I want, it's very easy for me to show up and be that versus somebody who's, having to overcome all of these limiting beliefs and mindsets, things really know, the universe wants to see that you're going to put your most valuable asset on the line. Like that's how the universe really knows that you're really serious when you put the thing that means the most to you, your money, on the line. Anything else the universe doesn't care about because it's not, and the universe knows it don't weigh that much to you. The universe knows, and I won't say God because that's me. I'm sure he does too. But I'm talking about the energetic of, spiritual law, the energy of it. They know you're not all the way in because they know you got some money, but you were unwilling to figure it out. I have figured things out when I had nothing, trust me. So my tolerance of other people's why they couldn't figure it out is very high. My threshold was high. Yeah, you have to really, because I've done what I had to do to make it happen, so I have very little room for everybody. He's like, oh, well, and I'm like, well, you didn't do what I did, which is your last. And I'm not encouraging anybody. We don't want anybody in this program is to be your food money for the week, okay? Because that is not the guarantee that in a week you'll have your money back, okay? And that's not the guarantee you will be giving your clients because there's levels to this. And for only somebody who's paying $5,000 plus can have a guarantee that they're going to have any type of return tomorrow. Now, what we will say is that in the 6 to 12 weeks, when the program's done, you will definitely have all the tools to be out launching and making money then. And you might possibly, if you're paying attention, be able to do that during the program. Yeah. But, again, so, you know what I mean? That's really the gist of it. So,
you guys have any questions, comments, pop them below so we can answer them.
I think we did and if there's any last key takeaways while anybody's coming up, we'll just recap again. Be careful on how many businesses you're starting. See if you can't get him involved in the conversation so he knows exactly what you're getting into before you share the investment, so he's making a decision based on value and not price. Make sure you're logical. Show the numbers. Go back to how you can profit. Go back and look at how we said the common challenges that women face in businesses, and make sure you show him the profit plan, how much less work you have to do with these type of numbers, and then really share with him how you can be a better wife and mother or show up in all other areas because that's ultimately what they care about. Yes, they love you making money. Yes, they love you being a boss babe, but they really want to know is how is this business going to help you be a better woman across the board, especially in the areas that affect me, because once I make this investment, I'm not going to be watching you like that, but I am going to want to know how is, so you're telling me, through this program, I'm really trying to reduce my hours and really show up more for you guys. That'll be an incentive to him. Also sharing, another benefit is sharing with him how these strategies, skill sets, and solutions could benefit the family businesses. So my spouse is also entrepreneurial, and there are a lot of areas that I'm able to support his business because I have the skill set, strategy, and solutions that he needs. So when your spouse is also making a decision, it'd be nice, for you to, again, this is learning how to sell. We're teaching you how to sell a spouse right now. This is what we should have called it, Selling a Spouse 101, because this is the first biggest sell right here, the one with the spouse, you know what I mean? So, you're going to need to, and bring it, the numbers to in black and white. Do the numbers so you can see exactly what your revenue plan, what that looks like as far as time, availability, what type of extra effort is it going to take, so that he understands you're coming legit and you're not just coming with another fly-by-night idea or, ooh, a hair got at me and somebody said I could do this and now I want to try that. You know what I mean? And be consistent. So it's really important that you find something that works and fast as possible, which is why we have this program and this conversation. And then, stick with it.
Love it.
Alrighty, ladies. Well, we will be back live, in this group soon. So make sure that you turn on all notifications in the group when we go live. I think you should be able to do it. If you clap the three dots on your phone, when you're watching this live stream, click the screen on your phone. Do that right now if you're watching. Click on your phone, go to the 3 top dots on this live stream, and then it's going to say, make sure you follow. Make sure if it's follow Tanya for now. That way you'll know when she goes live in here. And then when I go live, you'll do it too. Does that make sense, everyone? So that way you never miss us when we go live. Yeah. All right.
All right, ladies. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.